Maju, 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 Maju. Now welcome everybody to the Wild Wild West. The shows that's untouchable like Ellie and Ness. From New York to London, we bring you the best. The originator, perpetrator, put me to the test. I see a skill, I'm cool. Huvunjika goo, listen up. Weka mikono juu, show ni Maju. Ndani ya gari, angalia juu tu. Ni mawingu, kata pingu. Tunapaa, up tunapaa. Far, far away, huko overseas. Lakini sisi bado ni mabis from the east. So sit back, relax.
Welcome one more time to another episode of Radio Majuu. If it's Monday Maju, and I'm your host, George Gichobi, right here in Washington, D.C. And I have a very special guest today, and her name is Venta Mwongera. Is that how you say your last name?
Thanks so much, and so pleased to meet you and to have me here, George. My name is Venta Mwongera, just like the way you've mentioned.
Yes, Mwongera. Okay, I probably said it a little bit off, but I think I got it now. Mwongera. All right, Dr. Mwongera, thank you very much for coming to our show. Just introduce yourself really quick. Tell us what you do, and also tell us where you're joining us from.
Okay, thanks so much. My name is Venta Mwongera. I am a communication specialist, telling stories, navigating from journalism, because that's why I started my career telling stories as a journalist. And then from there, I realized stories that I was telling as a journalist, they would entertain, inform, and a little bit, I advanced now into strategic communications, whereby I realized that changing the systems that are behind the stories that is now influencing the policy is what would bring impact, because now when impact is made in terms of policy, that's where great change is realized. I'm connecting from Kenya, and I work as a CEO of African Biodiversity Alliance, whereby we work with communities, policymakers, researchers, etc., in that 7 countries in Africa.
Okay, so you're not only in Kenya, you are in other countries too?
Yes, we work with various partners and communities in Africa because, John, as you can allude to this, regeneration of lost biodiversity, it's not an issue that can be addressed by one person. It's not an issue that is isolated to one country or one community, but it is a global issue that is affecting everyone, although at different parameters. So we work with communities in Kenya and other 36 countries in Africa to regenerate the lost biodiversity and to mitigate the impact of climate change, because we know when Africa is affected, food chains are affected, economies are affected, and globally everyone is affected. So we try our best to work with communities who already have solutions to regenerating lost biodiversity, mitigation of impact of climate change, to ensure that their stories, because they already have the solutions, now their stories are brought to the light, to the decision-making tables, so that now the decision makers can understand and consider the solutions that communities are already implementing, for them to be considered in the policy making decisions. Because yes, the farmers, the communities, they have the solutions. But if these solutions are not considered in their policy, then their input will continue to be fragmented and no one will listen to them. And the issue of loss of biodiversity will continue to be a perennial issue. So yes, we're working with 37 countries in Africa, and we are looking forward to covering all the 54 countries on the continent.
Well, that was my next question. You're at 37, so you're very close to 54, so you can have the whole of the African continent, because obviously when you talk about the biodiversity issues, they affect the whole continent. And if one country is taking is putting the effort to control the diversity, then that means the next country also is affected. So that is a very good goal, and maybe you can come back and tell us when the whole Africa is covered. So you are in Nairobi, Kenya?
Yes, I'm currently, as you're speaking, I'm in Nairobi, Kenya.
Oh, well, thank you very much. Well, if you're joining us, you are in Radio Majuu. This is Monday Maju, the One Voice Hour, and we have our very special guest all the way from Nairobi, Kenya, to share about the African Biodiversity Alliance, which is a very good organization in terms of what they are doing. So could you briefly share your professional journey and what inspired you to take on your current role at African Biodiversity Alliance?
Thank you so much, George. You'll be surprised. I started my career as a sports journalist at Kenya Broadcasting Corporation about 22 years ago. And I would tell the stories, and I could see how the players would take different positions in the pitch and while in the field, and I could see how teamwork would lead them to score and others would be scored, of course. And then now with time again, I realized there was a lot of stories, a lot of issues of perennial food insecurities, calling for food aid and all that in their country. And yet I could meet with different friends and other researchers who would give stories of the kind of solutions that they have that can feed Kenya and Africa sustainably if those innovations are adopted at scale. And I could see the kind of stories that would be given more prominence or would be aired more often were stories on business, fashion, politics, sports, and really a lot of stories on food security, innovations, research, and what the communities are doing. They were hardly given much visibility. And I would speak with a few seniors who are producers of news and editors, and I would ask them, how come that we don't have more stories that are being heard about the farmers, agriculture, research, technology, and all that? And that's when I realized that it is an area that required technical expertise, of which now a majority of the media practitioners at the time did not have the skills and also resources to support, to cover such bits and to offer such news regularly. So I said, okay, Venta, here it is. We are talking about being part of the solution. What can you do in your capacity as a journalist? But then I stepped into the ring and I started now telling the stories, agricultural stories, as a journalist from sports. I navigated from sports now to agriculture. I would tell stories on biotechnology, on tissue culture, that is banana tissue culture. I would tell stories of researchers who would have new technologies from ILRI, from ICIPE, from biotechnology companies. All this was to sensitize the people, the various stakeholders, to understand the concept of food insecurity, the concept of hunger, and how we would come together and ensure that we fight the issue of food insecurity in Africa. And I would hear, because now I would discuss with the various farmers, various researchers, policymakers, I would hear that Africa has fertile soils. Then the issue is, why then are we having the perennial issue of food insecurity, and yet the soils are fertile? There's the knowledge, there's the research to show what kind of crops can perform well in whichever different types of soils that we have. And that's when now I went deeper into now learning more about science communications, that now we can debunk disinformation and misinformation and ensure that I'm not only informing, but also educating, and while also influencing policies, because again, farmers, I would learn from them, they have solutions. They are doing work that is helping to put food on the table. But now, in terms of policies are quiet about what the farmers are doing. It's all about promoting practices that are using chemical fertilizer to improve food production or soil productivity. But now, over time, you would find that the farmers would continue to use chemical fertilizers for their farming activities, to spray insecticides or pesticides to mitigate to manage the pests and diseases that would attack their crops. But over time, there is no improvement on food production, but soil productivity will decrease over time. And that's when now I started now listening to farmers who are not using chemical fertilizers to grow their food. And they gave me a different story. And this different story is all about using sustainable, natural sustainable solutions or nature-based solutions to promote their farming. And here they would not use chemical fertilizers, but they would use manure. And that's how they started now restoring the fertility of the soil, maintaining or managing the pests and diseases using nature-based solutions. And these are researches that were backed by reports by scientists from ICIPE, for example. And that's how now I navigated my journey of being a science communicator. I did my master's in science communication. I also did a master's in digital journalism, and this is now to ensure that the information that I'm documenting and working with other teams is reaching far and wide. Different people who are using print materials, who are using broadcast materials. That is now also even the policymakers and also those who are tech savvy. Everyone would be brought on the board to ensure that everyone is listening, giving farmers a chance to speak, policymakers a chance to speak, private team also to speak about what they need and what they can provide. And that's how now I progressed into now influencing not only the policy processes, not only in Kenya, but in Africa and continentally on Convention on Biological Diversity and the UNFCCC processes, whereby we managed also to come up with a Kunmin Global Biodiversity Framework, or rather Kunmin Montreal Global Biodiversity Framework, which has to be domesticated in all the countries globally.
Wow, thank you very much. So what are the most urgent biodiversity and environmental challenges currently facing Africa, and why would the global diaspora care?
Thanks so much, George, for that pertinent question. When we're talking about biodiversity loss, we are talking about consequences of climate change. We are talking about land degradation. We are talking about erosion of the soil fertility. We are talking about issues to do with global warming. We are talking about invasion of invasive pests and diseases because of the changes of climate change. Now, with all these, when it is affecting the food production, for example, that is now a value chain or ecosystem of food production. That is now from the farm to the table to the market. All these processes are also even to export. When all these processes are affected, then what are we saying about food? What are we saying about industries? What are we saying about export? And we are talking about countries' GDP, and agriculture is a main contributor for more than 40%. Now, with all these, we are talking about reduction on labor, reduction on productivity of the land. We are talking about reduction of input or export and the money that we get through the sale of surplus food. We're also talking about reduced health of women, girls, children, the marginalized groups and vulnerable groups. All these are affected when we are talking about land degradation and when we are talking about a regeneration of the lost biodiversity that is now taking care of biodiversity, both the living and the non-living, to live in harmony with nature and live in harmony with each other. We are talking about diaspora, why they should care. Charity begins at home. And when we are looking at the workforce, we are talking about the youth. We are talking about having a resilient ecosystem, a resilient population. We are talking about youth being the leaders of today. We are talking about innovations and technology uptake. So diaspora has a reason to care because it is an opportunity and it is their responsibility. Responsibility to ensure that Africa is resilient, because when you're talking about resilience in Africa, it contributes to various foods and raw materials that contribute to industries that are in diaspora. We are talking about even export crops that come from Africa. Now, these export crops, if they are not produced in large numbers, then what are we saying about global markets? It is a global village. We correlate, we are intertwined, and we are no one who can live like an island. But now we need to support each other, one, to ensure that Africa resilience is restored and maintained. Also, it's an opportunity for the diaspora also to promote technology, an opportunity to strategically invest in as entrepreneurs. And when they invest as entrepreneurs, of course, it's give and take. So it's an opportunity to have or to do business, to create opportunities also for the youth, and also to promote technology in Africa, because now this is where the world is today. My research for my PhD, I saw there's a lot that the youth would want to do. Mama Boga or the village people in the rural, they would want to do much. They would want to participate in the technology uptake. But now the challenge that they have is that they don't have the wherewithal to know how to use this technology. The infrastructure is so expensive to maintain, or rather even to install in Africa. It's an opportunity for brothers and sisters in the diaspora to participate in that, to bring opportunities back home, and to ensure that we are building resilience amongst ourselves in Kenya, in the whole of Africa, so that now we can promote the youth, we equip them with the knowledge that they have. They are at the technology, they are born in the time where the technology is the one that is controlling the world today. And now they are interested to be part of the development that they are shaping, because it is their time to lead. So when diaspora come on board to support, we collaborate, we be the part of the change that we want to see. We walk the journey together from the communities to national level, to continental and global level. Then we are talking about bring the change or contributing to the change that we want to see from a point of strategic and also from a point of knowledge, whereby all of us, we are bringing our A game together. And then we can dare say we are mitigating the impact of climate change, and everyone is participating in the development of our country and our continent, from policy level to operationalization.
Yes, I'm very sure that diaspora can contribute more than just remittances, because the issue of biodiversity is very important, especially the climate change and how it's affecting the whole population of Africa, especially the youth and the young people. So they need to be brought on board and, contribute whatever they can and help the people, the youth, especially who are the majority in, I can say, the whole of Africa, not just Kenya. The youth are the majority. You can bear those facts out for me. So given your background in media and communications, how important is storytelling in advancing environmental awareness and policy change?
Thank you very much for that question, George. When I visit communities, I listen to their stories. Their stories of change, their stories of who they are. These are stories that make them who they are, their identity. They carve their identity. The stories that they tell are stories of what they are doing, how it was during the time of their grandparents, great-grandparents, how things were. Because in these stories, that's when we are able to learn what was working during those times, and they're able to draw even their ecological maps through the storytelling. They pass on the practices that works from those generations to the current generation and to the future generation. So when the stories are told, because these are stories that are so unique to each and every context, each and every participant, each and every person who is telling the story, different generations are able to understand how life was during their time, how the seasons were, what used to work for them, and what is working currently, what needs to change. So through storytelling, it unifies the communities. Different generations are able to pass on the knowledge from one person to one generation to another, and they're able to influence different thinking and mindset in terms of sustainable development. So through storytelling, communities tell their stories, and the communicators are able to document these stories using different formats. It could be like radio show that we are having today. It could be documentary. It could be print. It could be now digital technology where they are telling the stories. These stories, they help the different communities to learn from each other what is working in their context and what is not working. Through that, there is interchange of knowledge. Also, the policymakers are able to understand what is working for the communities, which sustainable solutions can be scaled to another level to bring greater impact to solve the issues that are affecting the world today, the issue of climate change. So through storytelling, a lot of things happen. One, there is the change of mindset. Number two, there is a part of having evidence to show that this sustainable development, or rather these nature-based solutions, they are working in this context. And now through the data, through the research and the data, we are able to communicate and to show the extent to which these solutions can be scaled to support or to help and contribute to food security, to support in regeneration of lost biodiversity, and also to contribute to the changes of the policies, either to formulate the policies, to update the policies, or to operationalize the policies, so that now the agroecological approaches, which is now the use of nature-based solutions to promote sustainable development from the communities to global levels, can be adopted or operationalized. So the stories, they help to shape the agenda, influence policies, and also support the policymakers to have the evidence to show this is working. It is through storytelling that all this happens. And then use of technology, we bring everyone on board, because now people are able to give feedback of what has been tried, tested, and proven to be working in different contexts that can be scaled. And that's how these are some of the solutions. We are working with the farmers in the communities that we are working with to understand what is working for them. And then through exchange programs, we bring different communities from Zimbabwe. They come to Uganda to learn from each other and vice versa. That way they are able to kind of infuse and compare what is working in their case. They teach the Ugandans, and Ugandans teach the Zimbabweans what works in their context. Then you find that farmers themselves, they are bringing solutions to each other to issues that are affecting themselves in their context.
Perfect. Yeah, which is a very good thing. They need to learn from each other, and they can cooperate and make it more advanced, the solutions that we're looking for. So I think you've mentioned it, but can you highlight one or two key initiatives or success stories from your leadership at ABA that demonstrates, having an impact?
Thank you so much. Domestication of Kunmin Montreal Global Biodiversity. This is an initiative, or rather, it's a global policy framework that was adopted in 2022-2023 thereabout, in regards to what each and every country is supposed to do, and there are various targets. There are 4 goals and 23 targets. This is all in regards to regeneration of lost biodiversity and ensuring that there is promotion of living in harmony with nature. Now, with all this, we I've done a number of things at our mission too, like the way you've mentioned. Domestication of Kunmin Montreal Global Biodiversity Framework. This is now each and every country, all the 194 or 95 thereabout countries are supposed to domesticate this global framework in terms of taking care of their biodiversity. I was among the team as Africa Biodiversity Alliance to walk the journey as a key contributor to domesticate the framework, Kunmin Montreal Global Biodiversity Framework, in revision of the NBSAP National Biodiversity Strategic Action Plans that are unique to each and every country. I'm happy to say that Africa Biodiversity Alliance was among the stakeholders who reviewed National Biodiversity Strategic Action Plans for Kenya to upload it to the CBD website as the fourth country globally before the meeting that was held, that is the meeting of COP16 that discusses biodiversity globally. So this is the domestication of the biodiversity framework, that is Kunmin Montreal Global Biodiversity Framework. And we are also discussing with other partners in other countries. We are walking the journey with them because it is an expensive affair, because it's all about sensitizing the stakeholders and then working together, the government, the various stakeholders who are conserving biodiversity or regenerating the lost biodiversity, to come together to discuss and see what are the targets that are aligned to the directions or strategic actions or directions for each and every country, because each and every country has its own unique aspect that are prioritizing at that time. So we are walking this journey with different partners in different countries, and I've given an example of a success from Kenya. Maybe charity begins at home. Now
Yes.
we are looking for resources to walk the journey, because it requires all these stakeholders to come together to discuss and agree what works for them, and also to develop a monitoring framework to agree. Once they have agreed, these are the targets and these are parameters that we want to measure according to what is relevant to our country, then we develop again a monitoring framework and elaborate to help us monitor what we've been able to achieve according to the targets that we've set for ourselves. That is one. Number two, in terms of building the capacity of the media as a strategic partner. We cannot afford to ignore media, because we understand the role that they play in terms of sensitizing, advocating, building the knowledge or creating awareness about this technical subject, which is now biodiversity and also even policy. So building their capacity to fight against misinformation, disinformation, and malinformation, so that now they are reporting biodiversity matters as professionals with accuracy that is required to promote awareness and also to influence policy.
Wow.
I'll talk about the last one. Give me a chance to talk about the last one, of which I could have talked about many. The other one is to build the capacity of the communities to have their capacity built on advocating for policies that are working for them, from community to global levels, not talking on their behalf, but building the capacity of the community members to speak on issues, to participate on policy discussion matters, especially agroecology, which we are promoting. They speak about it, they influence the policies, and they negotiate for the accommodation and operationalization of the policies and the aspect of the policies that are already recognized in the agricultural policy. And if not recognized, then they are influencing that. And we've done that with the Murang'a County, for example, in Kenya, which already has now. We've been part of the team that has worked with the Murang'a County to have the agroecology policy. And now 12 more counties in Kenya, because Kenya has two devolved kind of governments. There's the national government and the devolved government. Those are the two governance systems in Kenya: devolution government, which is now national government, and also the county government. So we have around 12 more counties that are also, we are almost concluding the aspect of formulating the agroecology policies. This is as a result of massive building capacity of the stakeholders from community level to national and global levels, to understand what is it in it for them and how they can be part of this process, to be in charge of the life that they are living, and also to inform the decisions that will affect their life tomorrow and the future generation. Those are at least 3 key points. I could have given like 10.
I asked for 2, but you gave us 3, which is good. The more the merrier. And to your answer also, communicating or collaborating with other organizations, like I'm a media organization, Radio Majuu, which is online and worldwide. I do my part as much as I can. And there's also, we work with the Food Security Consortium, I think, which is based in the coast of Mombasa, and also One Voice Consortium, which is based in US with Dr. Shuri. And we bring together all these organizations. Hopefully we can bring ABA on board and we can do more good things. So if you're joining us, this is Mande Maju on Radio Majuu, and I have my guest, Dr. Venta Mwongera, all the way from Nairobi, Kenya, and she works with the ABA, which is the African Biodiversity Alliance. Welcome one more time to the show, and I'm your host, George Kichobi. So, given your background in media and communications, how important is storytelling in advancing environmental awareness and policy change?
Thanks so much, George. I'm so pleased to receive and to accept the invitation for African Biodiversity to be part of your the network that you work with, to sensitize, to influence, and also to give members maybe a platform like the one that you've given us today to share about the work that we do, and also to educate people on how they can get involved in the great work that we do. So you talked about communication, right? Would you want to rephrase your question?
Yes. With your background in media and communications, how is storytelling important to advancing environmental awareness and policy change?
Thank you so much. I'll give some examples. Like development of a national agroecology strategy, which is we're implementing 2033. I'll take that again. Development, we were part of the team or stakeholders who developed the national agroecology strategy that is being implemented in Kenya, 2024-2033. It's a 10-year strategy to implement agroecology practices in Kenya as a way of promoting food sovereignty and resilience in the country. Now, this was achieved as a result of clear communication, working with various stakeholders. I mentioned part of our success is to build the capacity of media practitioners to report as professionals in matters as pertains to biodiversity, and also to mitigate the malpractices or malinformation, disinformation, and misinformation, to promote clarity and understanding. So when communication is embedded in biodiversity conservation matters or biodiversity matters, then it promotes clear understanding, whereby all the stakeholders, remember the theme for Kunmin Global Biodiversity Framework or Kunmin Montreal Global Biodiversity Framework, the theme is all government, all society. That means that each and every person has a role to play in the regeneration of the lost biodiversity and also in the mitigation of climate change. This can only be achieved, or each and every player can participate effectively from a point of knowledge. So communication plays a key role of informing, educating, clarifying issues that are not clear, and ensuring that when all the people who are involved are aware of their role that they are expected to play, with whom, at what time, and how, then it becomes easier for everyone to play their role in mitigating the impact of climate change, promoting resilient ecosystems, and also promoting food sovereignty, not only in Kenya, in Africa, but globally. So communication is crucial. It's like the applicant that unifies people from a point of clarity.
Okay, perfect. I'm glad to know that, because as Radio Majuu is also a communications organizations, we'd like to know that we are playing a role, even if albeit a small one, but at least we're playing a role in helping, especially the motherland. And since we reach a lot of diaspora people, maybe they'll take note and, you know, try to contribute or try to get involved in this kind of issues. All right, so we're doing really good right now. If you're joining us, this is Radio Majuu on Monday Maju with my guest, Dr. Aventa Mwongera. So I know that your work is critical. So I would ask you, how do you, what leadership principles or values have been most critical in guiding your work, especially in complex or high pressure situations?
Thanks so much, Judge, for that strategic question. Integrity, support, collaboration. These are some of the values that has helped me to continue working, recognizing that it is important to be transparent, to be accountable to the communities that we work with, to the stakeholders that we work with, and also to be accountable and to be accountable to the mission that helps me or that has called me into this work that I'm doing, mission vision of African Biodiversity Alliance. So accountability is part of the integrity, and also support, knowing, and collaboration, knowing that no one has monopoly of ideas. Each and every person's input is equally important. So when all of us, we come together, we listen to each other, we understand what has brought us together, we put our A game together, we are able to mitigate the impact of climate change, to have a better living environment for the current generation, and to have a healthy biodiversity or nature that we are living for the next generation. So with all this, it's all about value system that can guide our work. And when under pressure, because again, like when we are negotiating global discussions, negotiating for policy, either inclusion or revision or operationalization, then these are high pressure situations. And what helps me to remain focused is to have facts that are helping me to make the decision, the data. And now when I'm working with all the teams that I work with, because I lead a diverse team, all of us, we work together and we know our contributions are unique to the success of the work that we do. So we bring our energy together, our skills together, and I consult widely. I ensure that even in high-stake areas, I offer my leadership through facts and evidence-based, and it is inclusive and consultative process.
Very, very important. Integrity is key. I have another question, but I think we're going to do it on the next show because we're running out of time. But it has to do with the fact that developed countries, the Western countries or the global North, are the ones that contribute most to the climate change. But you know, the effect is felt much more worse in Africa and developing countries. So we're gonna leave that there for now. Otherwise, we're gonna be here all day. But my pet peeve or the important objective that I wanted to bring to the table here is how the youth are affected and how diaspora comes into the picture. So I guess my question would be, what opportunities exist for young professionals in Africa and the diaspora who want to work, you know, in biodiversity, policy, advocacy, and such?
Okay, thanks so much, George. We understand that the youth are energetic, they are innovative, they are willing to take the baton. Even now, they're already taking that. Building their capacity, taking advantage and building their capacity with their resilience, with their willingness to work, for them to be equipped and to be facilitated to conduct research. Be supported to have entrepreneurship or businesses that they are investing and making a living out of it. Businesses whereby they are participating in post-production or management of post-production losses. These are some of the aspects and some of the areas that the youth can be can benefit from, and if they can be supported to invest in research, because when we are talking about development, if we don't have data that is verified, continuous body of knowledge to support the decisions that are being made, then it means that we will continue painting in the darkness. So the youth, if they can be supported to continuously conduct research, that will help with the data that is required to show to what extent we've been able to make the changes that we want to make in terms of mitigating the impact of climate change. And also, it will help them to bring new body of knowledge that will continue informing the policy at national level and global levels. Again, building the capacity or giving them a chance to understand the policy influencing processes, and for them to be participants. That also would be a great opportunity for them to be equipped with the right knowledge, to be in charge of their lives and to be part of the decisions that are affecting their lives now and the future generation. The Diasporians team, they can also participate in telling the stories of change, challenging the narratives that have been told about Africa that are inconsistent. They can challenge those narratives, and also they can participate in policy discussions and talk about Africa and what Africa is doing by scaling out those stories and telling the right stories, the right narratives about Africa that again can contribute to the change and the change that we want, and that can be strategic in terms of bringing the changes that are relevant to the communities and being consultative, not imposing solutions to the communities, but being part of the communities, learning from the communities. And when they are learning from each other, because in African Biodiversity Alliance, we learn from each other. We bring all these communities of knowledge together, the scientists and also the communities, to co-create solutions and scale them out so that now we can be part of the solution, not imposing ideas, but scaling out that what is working for the communities. And that way we are able to support each other. And that's what we've been able to see from these communities that we are working with in terms of co-creation of knowledge, the communities and the scientific to come together to come up with a very informative knowledge system.
Oh, well, thank you very much. If you're just joining us, I have my guest here all the way in Nairobi, Kenya, Dr. Venta Mwongera, and she is with the African Biodiversity Alliance, and we are getting a lot of knowledge and a lot of information that we can use. And my main issue is how the youth can be distracted. Let me say distracted, because there's a lot of things going on the political front and the economic front, but there are issues that they can also focus on that are also very important, especially for their future, because it's their future, 20s, 30s, or early 30s. You want to have a land or a country where, it's functioning, and, there's trees, rivers, and all that good stuff. There's food, which is very important. I know they don't think about it right now, but if you're starving in the next 10 years, you'll definitely want to think about it. And also, as a Radio Majuu, as an organization, I want to follow in your footsteps, madam, because I have the communications, master's in communications, and I'm trying to do my PhD. So probably I would try to focus on biodiversity or something along those lines, so I can have my voice also added to those people who are trying to help the motherland as a diaspora. You mentioned diaspora and what we can do. So I'm doing my my best. Thank you so much. If you're joining us, this is Monday Maju. I'm your host, George Gichobi, and I have my guest, Venta Mwongera. Mwongera from Kenya with the African Biodiversity Alliance. And thank you so much for being here with us. And I'm sure we can extend this conversation. We can have our viewers ask a couple of questions, and then we can see what the next step would be in conjunction, obviously, with the Food Security Consortium and the One Voice Consortium. So I have one more question for you, if you don't mind, Dr. Mwongera. Okay, perfect. So call to action. Looking ahead, what is your vision for Africa's environmental future? And what message would you like to share with our listeners here at the One Voice Hour? Take it away.
Thanks so much, George, for having me. My name again is Mwongera. I'm so pleased to be part of this conversation, and thank you for having me. To add to what I had mentioned about what youth can benefit from, again, opportunity for them to have fellowships, again, that would be a great opportunity, because when we look at the developing countries and developed countries, we are not at the same skill level. So those fellowships to help them sharpen the skills already that they have, that would be an excellent intervention. My vision for Africa is an Africa where biodiversity is not looked as an impediment to development, but as a foundation on which all the sustainable development are anchored or can be anchored on. People living in harmony with the nature, where each and every person is playing their role. The insect, we know their role in terms of pollination, in terms of even, we know about the process of human formation, how to restore fertility in the soil. All the insects, animals, birds, etc., human beings, all of them, they have a role to play in restoring, regenerating the lost biodiversity. So an Africa whereby biodiversity is not seen as a constraint to development, but it is seen as a foundation where economies are regenerating, communities are improved, communities are resilient, and also ecosystems are thriving in harmony with each other. For the youth, my call is the youth who are listening to this conversation today, your energy and creativity and your courage that you have, these are essential to the development and regeneration of the lost biodiversity in Africa. Please continue doing that, because your time is now to regenerate the lost biodiversity in Africa. And for the diasporians, this is my call to you. Participate in purpose. And how you can do this: invest not only in financing activities or regenerative activities and initiatives in Africa, but also be a partner. Walk this journey with us. When you are walking this journey with us, we will make solutions, come up or formulate solutions that are responsive to the intervention that we want to see happening in Africa, that the communities are saying this is what is working for us, that can be scaled to another level to bring more impact and to bring more changes that we want to see in terms of regenerating the lost biodiversity in Africa. To all the listeners, biodiversity is life. It underpins food, our health, our culture. It has an ethnic connotation. It binds people, it binds communities. It is a story that is telling, a story of continuity, a story of our people, our identity. Now, when we are taking care of this, when we are protecting it, it is not an option. It is our responsibility, our joint effort. Let's team together, bring the change that we want to see, not finances only, but also you come, we formulate these projects together with the communities, with ourselves as African Biodiversity Alliance and other teams that are regenerating the lost biodiversity, to make the world a better place to live, and also to live and inherit a healthy biodiversity for the future generations.
Oh, well, that is a very, very appropriate and a very, very good point to end the show for today. This has been another episode of Radio Majuu. I'm your host, George Gichobi, and I had the pleasure of being joined by Dr. Benta Mwongera, all the way in Nairobi, Kenya, with the African Biodiversity Alliance. You're doing a very good job. Continue doing the job. We'll see what our viewers, what kind of questions our viewers have, and we'll share them with them. If we have to come back and regroup and talk some more, we'll do that. But otherwise, thank you so much. So, Dr. Benta, is there any way people can get a hold of you? Do you have a phone number, email, or a website that we can, my listeners and everybody else can get a hold of you?
Thanks so much, George. Yes. When we're talking about internet connectivity, we are talking about paradigm shift in terms of technology. This is the phone number, +254 724 964 107. That is my direct number, my WhatsApp number. My email address is vmwongera@africanbiodiversityalliance.org. I'll take that again. vmwongera@africanbiodiversityalliance.org. Our website is www.africanbiodiversityalliance.org.
Perfect.
Feel free to reach out to us, and we are happy to come together and to see how we can work together to scale the solutions that are already helping and working with the communities to ensure that we are promoting living in harmony with nature, and also to ensure that we are living a healthy biodiversity that we are living for the next generation. Thanks so much.
Perfect. Thank you very much for coming through. Obviously, it's very, very important for young people. I hope they take it seriously and join the bandwagon. I know there's a lot of things going on, but this is very, very important. And also to my people in the diaspora, this is also a very important issue that we need to jump on in terms of, if you want to go back to invest in Africa, you want to find an African that is livable and it's, living and breathing. And also we need to raise our voices against, the people that are, messing up the environment for the children and the next generation, and for us who might be wanting to go back to Africa. So thank you so much, Dr. Benta. My name is George Gichobi, and if you've been listening, this is Monday Maju on Radio Majuu, and my guest has been Dr. Benta Mwongera, all the way in Nairobi with the African Biodiversity Alliance. Asante sana, and hopefully we'll see you on the next one. Thank you much.
Thanks so much for having me. Looking forward to responding to any questions, inquiries, clarifications that come through for me. I'm happy to handle them. Thus, I'm ready to discuss the part of how Africa is suffering more on the mistakes that they have handily contributed to, and yet those who are bringing or polluting the environment, causing more impact to the climate change, carbon mitigation, carbon release in the air. It's an aspect that we need to discuss, not shying, but discussing it and saying what needs to be done by whom and how, and why Africa shouldn't be allowed to bear the brand that they know very little about. Thanks so much, George.
Asante sana, and I will see you on the next one. Bye.
Thanks so much. Bye.
Remember, you're building His image and likeness. God is love and love is God, and God is in all of us. So bring out the G in you. I'm your boy, O Genius, Blast Master G. Peace, bless.